Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, it's Will here, and yeah, I don't usually do recaps, and I thought I've got a few emails. A few people have been asking me about what happened at the weekend, um, and what my thoughts on the situation is, and so I thought I'd come on and just put a video out there and let people know what I was thinking and regarding the whole situation. But we'll start with the good stuff first. We'll go into the main event because that's what everybody wants to hear. And we're going to start on a positive note, and that is with Khabib Nurmagomedov's performance. Absolutely unbelievable performance from Khabib. Showed why he is undefeated and why his skill set is so elite. And showed us some things that we'd never seen before either, really. So, really, he absolutely destroyed Conor. Honestly, I don't know what Conor's game plan was, because I felt like he was a little bit hesitant. I've seen people say he looked flat on his walkout. I don't believe that. I think he was just beaten by the better fighter with the better skill set, and the skill set that made it work for him. And he came out early, got that takedown established, really established his dominance in the first round, moved into the second round, and that's a 10-8 round if we ever did see one. I gave him that 10-8, so he was up two big rounds fairly convincingly. I thought that Conor definitely won round 3. I thought that Conor just landed a little bit more. He was still, in some aspects, he was a little bit in danger, but most of that round it took place in the feet, and I thought he did edge out with the strikes. Then the fourth round, he went in there, got the takedown, and then I think Conor looked for that way out again, and then looked for the door once he got taken down. Didn't really put up much of a fight once Khabib got his back. Once he got his back, put in the choke, and it was done there and then. Very convincing, and Khabib is now, at that point, he's a massive star. And then what happens from there, honestly, I was watching and I made a video, which I was going to put out, but I didn't want. I might still put out in the future. I'll wait and see regarding that. But I was so totally disgusted by what Khabib did. But honestly, I can't really blame him for doing it. The only thing that really, let me see. I think I'm okay with him doing it. I just think what it escalated. He had the moral high ground. He could have took that and ran with it, and did his talking on the microphone and so on, and put it over on Conor and put him in his place. Him jumping into the crowd like that. Now I know Dylan Dennis, he's a gobshite. He must have said something. He must have done something. I've watched Joe Rogan tonight where they're talking about John Kavanagh says he didn't say anything, but he must have gestured something. And then it escalated where it was just a brawl where Khabib can't be doing what he's doing, is jumping into the crowd and attacking people like that, for so many aspects. I'll look into that in a little bit. Then what happened in the cage. Now, people are saying, oh, Conor threw the first punch. To me, if you enter that octagon, it's fair game. You shouldn't be in there. Not unless you're a part of the team, part of the two teams that are there. I don't think you should be entering the octagon at all. So we had those, I think it was 3-4 guys from Khabib's team that did that, to Hugov, who was supposed to be fighting in a few weeks' time against Artem, which looks like that fight's been scrapped. He went in there, I think he tried to throw something at Conor. Conor threw a counter right. I actually think that Khabib's brother went at him as well. There was another guy that came from the crowd, jumped over, and like an absolute pussy, sucker punched Conor from behind. You cannot do that at all. The one thing I was worried about when it was all kicking off, in the crowd, it's just the safety of the people. Now, there's been a few times where I've sat ringside and I couldn't imagine something like that going off. I had a little bit of that at a Cage Warriors show once, where it was Stevie Ray against Kurt Warburton, and it kind of kicked off with the two sets of fans, and that was scary being in amongst that, because there was things getting thrown, punches getting thrown, and so on. I got out the road as soon as that happened, and that's dangerous, and especially with the two sets of fans, which we've seen after that. There was people knocked out, there was fights, there was Russians against Irish, there was also a lot of the fans coming together, which was quite good. But you cannot do that. And that was the first thing when I was sat here watching. I could not believe what Khabib was doing, because I was thinking, dude, you've just became the biggest star, one of the biggest stars in the sport, and everybody's going to be talking about this stupid brawl and taking away from your performance, which was one of the best performances we've seen in the longest time. I was a little bit skeptical of the big fight aspect of this. This is huge. Fight McGregor. There's not many people that can adjust to fighting up to that. And everybody, all they're talking about is this stupid brawl that took place, which Khabib didn't really need to start. But really, if we think about it, Conor is the one who instigated it all. Everybody knows I'm a Conor McGregor fan, but you cannot not be a fan of Khabib Nurmagomedov. His skill set and the way he fights and the way he is and how respectful he is usually. I like it. I really like Khabib. Best man win, leave it in the cage. But doing that and inciting a kind of a mini riot, that's crazy. People getting arrested. The one thing I just didn't like was people enter the octagon and like attacking Conor. You cannot do that. But Conor spoke on so many things regarding religion, family, and you push the guy to his limits, and he reacted when he got the opportunity to do so. I'm not going to condone anything that Khabib Nurmagomedov did, because it was totally wrong. But what Conor McGregor did in Brooklyn was totally wrong. So you cannot be doing this. It's supposed to be a sport where everything gets settled in the octagon. This throwing dollies outside and having mass riots outside of it doesn't fly with me. I don't like it. The one thing that really got me was people coming into the octagon attacking Conor. That is not on, in my opinion. People are going on, but yeah, Conor threw the first punch. If you had guys coming at you, you're going to defend yourself. I don't care who you are. I've been in the same position. If you've seen these guys and you knew who they were, and some of them that you probably didn't know who they were, attacking you, you're going to defend yourself. They shouldn't be anywhere near the cage in that aspect. But I can honestly see why Khabib did it, and I can see why his team did it. You just don't mess with Russians like that. Russians are tough guys. They run very deep, and some of the things that Conor said, I think it got to them. And absolutely, I think that both guys in the wrong. The one thing I was really disappointed with on Saturday or Sunday morning was just Khabib, because everybody's talking about this stupid brawl and not his performance. And then going forward, we don't know what's going to happen with Khabib. He could get potentially, and by the way, to all the guys in the chat, I can see all there, but I'll say hello in a little bit. He could get stripped of the title. He could get banned from fighting in America, which his father has had a hard time getting into the country for Khabib fight. So he's still not got his purse. I mean, $2 million is a lot of cash. And then just ultimately, we might not see him fight again for a long time. He could get massive sanctions in Nevada. I really don't think they'll strip the title off him. I think that'd be silly. But the criminal charges being brought will probably be brought against him. And it's just for that little moment to overshadow his 20 minutes of dominance, pretty much. It is crazy to me, but the right man won. And then they're talking about a rematch. And I'm like, really? Are they really going to do this? Now, I've got a little bit of a theory of what's going to happen or what could happen. It's a little bit far-fetched, but I'll put it out there anyway. So Obviously, the co-main event was fantastic, but I'm just going to go with a kind of Hail Mary what I think could happen, because I think there's a lot of shit that's going to go down regarding Khabib and his team and so on. And I think that, I hope he doesn't, by the way, I hope he doesn't get stripped, but I'm going to say he gets stripped of the title. And then they make Tony Ferguson against the winner of Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier. I'm not sure who wins that fight. I think Poirier is the favourite. I think he's lined right for that. So see, he was to win that one. Then you have Ferguson against Tony. Then you have Khabib come back and face those guys. And then you probably have Conor against Nate Diaz. I think could easily be the title fight for a £165 championship. I really think that could happen. And it's a bit far-fetched. But we need. I really don't think Khabib will get stripped of the title. I think it'd be pretty bad if they get stripped of the title for that. But Khabib, I think, is going to. I've got a feeling that Khabib's going to get it really, really rough in this, and I really hope that they don't take his visa away from him and he fights. And I've just got a feeling it could happen. The commission could set an example here. That's the reason they're holding his purse still. So yeah, but it's crazy. It's a tough one to call. I really hope they don't do as much to Khabib as I think they could do, because we need him in the sport. He's a huge name now, and you look at who's going to beat him. And saying that, let's move on to the co-main event, which was absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. Like a great fight. I'm not the biggest Tony Ferguson fan. I am an Anthony Pettis fan. Anthony Pettis, I think it's hard to say he quit again, but I think he took the easy way out. But I'm not in that position to say that. It's just, I think he could have went out there. There's lots of other people that have had that, and it's just that mentality, whether you fight or you don't fight. I was loving that fight, everything about it. I thought that Pettis looked like a little bit like his old self, but he just couldn't handle the pressure of what Tony Ferguson was bringing. Second round, catches him, hurts him. I thought, oh, here we go, he's going to stop him. Then Tony kind of re-emerged and put that pressure back on, and just absolutely beat him with the pressure and started putting on Pettis. And Pettis, I hate to say it, he kind of looked for the door again. He did it with Poirier. And he's did it in the past with other fights as well. I think that he's a great fighter. He's just that I don't think he can take getting like beat up as much as he used to. I still think he could have fought on, but you can take nothing away from Tony Ferguson now. They try and make Ferguson against Khabib. Obviously, everybody wants to see that fight, but I've made videos about that fight about 3 times probably, and nothing comes together. I'm not even going to speak about it. It has to happen. Let's hope it happens. And yeah, just a shout out to all the guys in the chat. Dean, Maze Chaser, my man, what's happening? What's good? Yeah, Bellator fights this weekend. Fedor and Sonnen. I don't know. I think Fedor might get him. I'm looking ahead actually to next year. It's getting into the late quarter. I'm thinking about doing more prediction videos for next year regarding Bellator, Cage Warriors. I'm actually watching, or I have been for the last hour, watching some fights for Cage Warriors next week. So, because I think I'm going to have a bet or 2 for that card next week. It's a really good card, a really good main event, and something I'm looking forward to. Yeah, but like co-main event, absolutely great co-main event, and both guys deserve that bonus as well. What's up, Quincy? How's things, man? Hope they treat both fighters' actions equally. I just hope it kind of blows over a little bit and they don't get as bigger sanctions or in trouble as I think they may get, but we will see. They're expecting the knockdown of Khabib. The thing what Khabib showed with that was that he's got very fast hands. Like that came out the holster really quick, and Conor never seen that coming at all. And like he hurt him in the feet, and he did very well on the feet. Um, like when he dropped him, like in the video, it was like, oh, like he dropped Conor. And I think Conor, he took the shot well. I just think he was a little bit off balance, but he still dropped him. But yeah, I didn't see that coming from Khabib. He showed that he is one of the scariest fighters in the UFC by an absolute mile. What do I think of Mitrione and Bader? I think Bader will serve him as well. Like you said, I think Bader's just younger, hungrier. He's just better. So yeah. Then you go into Dominic Reyes. I think he is a legit prospect. From the very first couple of minutes of that fight, OSP did not know what to do. Big power. That power really got to him. He stuck around for the next couple of rounds, but then, in my opinion, he got knocked out at the end of that third round, and that should have been a TKO instead of a decision. Really good guy for that division. Interesting to see where they place him in the future. Derek Lewis. I picked Derek Lewis, and I've been watching his interview, probably like a lot of other people, of his interview for the last couple of days now. It's so funny. But yeah, Volkov had that fight in his hands, and just the Black Beast went and took out his hands and unleashed that big corker right hand, put him down, and that ground and pound is serious. If that guy gets on top of you and is raining down shots and he's got the opportunity, a lot of people are not going to take that, but yeah, he could easily fight for a belt. I don't think he will. Interesting to see who they match him with. I think if Ngannou and Blades probably, if he wins that fight, he's definitely next in line. So yeah, but a big win for Derek Lewis still, beating someone like Volkov. I'm not been the biggest Volkov guy, but I think he showed a lot of resolve in that fight. So yeah. But like Michelle Waterson was another one I picked. I thought she looked really well. I thought she controlled the striking. I'm not sure about Felice kind of gassed a little bit, which surprised me. After that big takedown, I think it was in round one, she looked a bit gassy and she fought hard, but I thought that Michelle Waterson definitely won probably all 3 rounds, actually. No, she didn't. Maybe the third round, Herrig won, yeah. 29-28, I thought was pretty decisive. There was a 30-26 scorecard, which was serious fuckery, I think. 30-26 there was no way there should have been a card like that. What's next for Derek Lewis? For Reyes at 205. Interesting, because I think Jones is definitely going to fight Gustafsson at the end of the year. DC's not coming back. Potentially you could put him against Ozdemir and Smith. The winner there, that might be a jump up too quick. You can make Dominic Reyes against Jan Blachowicz. So maybe him versus Blachowicz might be interesting. The fight pass, when you go down into the prelims was awesome. Really good. The guys who really impressed me down in there, Scott Holtzman, thoroughly impressed me. I thought he controlled that fight every second of that fight, and Patrick didn't really know what to do with the power that what he had. Tony Martin, I thought, looked. I'm kind of kicking myself I didn't bet Tony Martin when he was like plus 160 or 170 over here, because that was the first fight, I think one of the first fights I watched, and I kind of thought that's the way that fight would go. I didn't see that knockout coming like I did. I thought he would win a decision, but I was a little bit taken aback by how well he looked at 170. A little bit undersized, but looked very good. Vicente Luque is always impressive. I think that Jalen Turner's going to be good, by the way. I think Jalen Turner is a guy you need to look out for, especially at 155 with his size, how young he is, and just the dimensions that he's got. I think he's got a lot of skills. And in the couple of minutes he was in that fight, he did a lot that I saw. Like, this guy's really good. But yeah, who should Pettis get next? Which one? Anthony? Who could you put Anthony Pettis with? Interesting. I'm gonna have to think about that. Maybe someone like a Gregor Gillespie, which I don't think would be a good matchup for him, but hey, you're gonna have to move that guy up. Maybe a David Tamer. In fact, that'd be a good fight. Him against David Tamer. Yeah, Sergio, I think just lost to. Formiga was a guy that I thought like I said in the video, I'm a big fan of Jose Farmiga, and he got taught a lesson. And there was some beautiful takedowns from Farmiga down in there. Did all right with the striking, but his setups to his takedowns were absolutely beautiful. And once that guy gets control of you, he's a hard guy to face. Aspen Ladd, that was one of my most confident picks on the entire card. Bet her really early. I got a -110. She absolutely went in there and destroyed Tonya. Yana Kunitskaya was the other one I was super confident. I got her at -150 and I cashed that. Who else did I bet? I bet Nick Lentz and Dominic Reyes in a parlay. So yeah, I did pretty well betting wise. I cashed the bet on Roberto Soldic from KSW early on the night for -110. So I had a good weekend. I'm having a really good year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of hopefully finishing off the rest of the year being really solid with my bets and with my picks. The one thing which I have noticed this year, which I'm going to try and get better for 2019, is my main event picks. I haven't tallied them up, but it's something that crept into my mind tonight. I'm like, I've picked a lot of main events wrong, so that's something I'm going to look into. And, just having a little look and see what I'm doing wrong there. I'm just picking the wrong guy, basically. But I maybe need to change how I'm looking at certain things. So yeah, Gray Maynard needs to retire. Yeah, if Nick Lentz is hurting you and knocking you out, then you should be done. And so yeah, he'll be done. Been watching the NFL. I did watch the NFL last night for us. Arizona Cardinals finally won. Hallelujah. So yeah, I had a bet on last night. I can't remember what it was. I had the Cleveland Browns +3. I think I had the over in the Chiefs Jaguars. I had the over in the Saints Giants. I had the Chargers straight. I can't remember who the other one I had +3 on. But then I had the Eagles to beat Minnesota and they lost, so that sucks. But it's what it is. Hopefully they're not. I think Federer's got a chance to knock him out, but we'll see. You think McGregor was partying too hard? I think he could have not partied hard and Khabib would have still beat him. I really hope they don't make the rematch of that. Like there's Dana White's quite saying that that Connor's already phoned him. It's like he wants the rematch, and I'm like, oh, don't do that. Like especially a couple of days after what happened. What's my unit size? My unit size is like 50. So yeah, I've kind of went up as the years went on with my unit size, because last year, like my betting record is there for all to see. Last year I had a terrible year for betting. 2017 was a bad year. It was a good first 5 months, and then I had my little one. I must have completely took my eye off the ball and just not looked into it as much and hit the shitters big time. But since December, I've been really on a good run of bets. I think I'm over, I'm +40 units for the year. So yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing well. I'm looking to do it bigger next year. So must have made a good amount of money with those NFL picks. I've did all right with them. I've did all right. Like I say, betting's been good this year. A good guy you pick, it was obviously was going to happen. Sometimes, like I say, I think the fanboy, sometimes it's hard to kind of rein that in sometimes, and it's what it is. Like I was going back and forward all the time, and maybe the fanboy, just a little bit element, just kind of rubbed in there, and I did it. But hey, I'm still a fan of that guy, so no rematch. I agree. I don't think it should be a rematch, not unless Conor actually beats some. See, like you guys that are in the chat there, who do you see beating Khabib? Because I don't see Tony Ferguson beating Khabib. I really don't. The guy I see to beat Khabib is Kevin Lee. I think Kevin Lee's got a game that could potentially cause Khabib a little bit more problems. So yeah, that's what I think. I'm still not. I think Tony can do well, but I've got a feeling that Khabib, if that fight happens, I'm probably picking Khabib. So yeah, Do I think Calvin Cater is an easy win next card? I don't think he's easy. I think there's some money that's coming in Chris Fishgold tonight. Chris is the guy I've known for a long time through Cage Warriors. I've met him a load of times. Really good guy. Spoke to him on a lot of aspects of the game, and he's moving down to 145 for the first time, but he's got a tough opponent against Calvin Cater. But Chris Fishgold has a really good ground game, and if he can get it there, he can win that fight from there. So, yeah. So, yeah. Who do you guys think Dan Hooker will fare against these top guys? I think Dan Hooker will do okay. I think he's doing what he's having to do, and he's beating guys fairly convincingly. But like I say, that 155 is a shark tanker division, and the top 5 guys, top 5 to 7, 8 guys are legit in that division. So you have to really be on to get into that upper echelon of that division. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. Like I say, I'm watching some fights on, because the UFC is 3 weeks out. The UFC is 3 weeks out, so I've got a little bit of time to sit back and not watch anything in the UFC. I'll leave that for a week. I am watching some Cage Warriors right now. Looking forward to that main event. I've got my own countryman, Ross Houston, fighting for the Cage Warriors welterweight title against Stefano Paterno, which is a great fight. And I'm looking at a bet in that one there. We'll just have to wait and see what the line says. Smith against Volkan right now. Now, I haven't really watched. I've watched one fight each, so it's not much. I think Anthony Smith could give Volkan some problems late on in that fight. I think if Volkan can't get him out of there quick, I think that Anthony Smith could start to break him down. But like I said, I've not really looked into it all too much. Michael Chandler. I really wish Michael Chandler made his way over at the UFC. I think he would have been like a Justin Gaethje. I think he'll win some great fights, or be a very exciting fighter, but I don't think he'd beat the upper echelon guys. But I am a Michael Chandler fan. I really am. So I think he's a really good fighter. Yeah. What about the PFL this week? It's a PFL this week, or was it last week? Because I watched a couple of fights on the PFL, and like it's on really late, and sometimes I can watch it, and sometimes I can't. So yeah, the 2 Bellator cards. I haven't really looked at the Bellator cards. It's the Cage Warriors one that's really kind of caught my eye, because there's a couple of Scottish guys on there, and I've always been a massive fan of Cage Warriors. So yeah, thoughts on the current Ultimate Fighter season. This is the first season, probably in years, that I've not fully watched it. I caught last week's. I think I missed the previous 2, but caught the first one. So yeah. No, Dylan Dennis, he's in the right place. He's in Bellator, where you can go over there and beat some scrubs over there. So, would you bet Bader? I think I've probably missed the line on Ryan Bader. I don't know what his line actually is. Let me go and have a little look. What best line this is over here in the UK. There we go. So Saturday the 13th October, Ryan Bader, was he minus 225? Yeah, it's actually still bettable though, actually. So I might actually look into betting him over here on that there. So yeah. Also, there is more PFL this week. Oh no, I thought the PFL, the next event, was the end of December. Might be having another one. Oh, no, of course, they've got the tournament brackets, haven't they? They had the heavyweights and so on last week. Yeah, I'll maybe have to have a little look into that. Best thing about PFL, Caroline Pierce. I've met Caroline a few times. What's my early thoughts on Diaz and Poirier? That should be the main event. I don't understand why the UFC cannot put that as a main event over Shevchenko and Eubanks. Nobody is going to be sticking around for that main event, and rightly so. I don't know what the UFC are playing at regarding that. I still think there's opportunities to move that fight into the main event and put the championship as a co-main event. What betting sites do I use? I use a lot of betting sites. What UK betting sites you bet for PFL? I don't bet in the PFL. I never have. But I know there is a varying amount of lines from different betting sites over here. If you go and have a little look. But yeah, I'm looking forward. This next UFC card, it doesn't jump out to be a good one to me. But I'm looking forward. It's obviously 3 weeks, 3 weeks out. So hopefully I'll get into it more as I watch a little bit of tape. The one guy that I really like on that card is T. Edwards, who's coming from Dana White Contender Series. I bet him as an underdog last time out, and think that I think he's going to be a really good fighter. How do you think Chris Bungard will go on in Bellator? Bellator is doing, I think, a really good thing by signing a lot of the British guys. Not standout British guys, but good British guys to build like a decent Bellator kind of market in the UK. I think Bungard, it's all depending on the matchmaking, whether they're going to match them up with tougher guys from America, where it's going to be European guys or so on. I think Bungard will win fights depending who he gets matched against, but we'll need to wait and see. I don't know what his how's Bungard been looking recently, because I haven't really heard much regarding him. I think he fought not long ago, if I remember. Let me check to apology. Chris Bungard, the bad guy, 13-4. I didn't think his record was that good. Yeah, when did he last fight? Back in June. Niall Smith, 5-6 record. See, the thing is, he's fought a lot of guys with like 500 records, and the only when he has lost, he's lost to guys with positive records like Colin Fletcher and Gavin Hughes. So yeah, it's Gavin Hughes. I've not heard of that name in a while. 9-1. Martin Van Staden lost earlier on this year. So yeah, interesting. Which UFC November card is best for betting, you reckon? There is one bet that I like for UFC 230, and it's a middleweight, and he's an underdog. I like that one right now. I think that the 25th anniversary card is a good opportunity for betting. Let me go and see what events there is in November. How do you guys see Frankie Edgar against the Korean Zombie? That fight really interests me. So looking at that 25th anniversary card, obviously the main event of Edgar and the Korean Zombie, that's interesting to me. Cerrone and Mike Perry's interesting. Ricardo Ramos against Ricky Simon, I think it's a great fight. I think David Ramos is the easiest money in that card you're ever going to get, but I think his line's going to be huge. I think that Macy Barber is really easy money. Not easy money. I think she has the opportunity to win that fight fairly convincingly. Then we've got Magny and Ponzinibbio. Love the main event. What other fight I like? I like Calvillo against. Really happy that UFC have signed Ariana Lipski from KSW. So yeah, Fabinski against Prazares, I think it's a decent fight there. Then you move on to China. Love Curtis Blades. I think he's got an opportunity to really do something big in the heavyweight division. So yeah, I think the 25th anniversary card is actually really, really good. So yeah. Khabib versus Ferguson, McGregor versus Pettis, Diaz versus Lee. I have this feeling that McGregor and Nate Diaz are going to have that trilogy fight for the 165-pound belt. I really do. Reckon Adesanya's easy money. I don't think anybody's easy money in the fight game. It's kind of one of my bugbears recently, is seeing a lot of people coming out and saying this guy's easy money and then ending up losing bets and disregarding fighter skills. That's one thing that's really always annoyed me. Now I've said it on occasions, but I've learned to not say it as much as I've just learned not to say it, because then you're disregarding fighter skills. I'm not really for that. Um, but I think that Israel Adesanya has got a great chance. I think a really good chance of putting a performance here. I think someone like Derek Brunson could play right into his wheelhouse. And this could be the fight where Adesanya really shows his merit and shows what he's worth in that 185-pound division. Where do you prefer to watch the fights? At home. At home. Watching fights at 4, 5, 6 a.m. I don't think I'd like to watch it in a bar with guys who are on the booze and a little bit leery. So yeah, I always watch the fights at home. There's been a few times where I'd obviously prefer to be at the events. I love being at events. I used to go to loads of events back in the day. Don't really do it as much now with the kid. I was itching to go out in Vegas for that last card. And eventually, I think maybe next year, I'm in the process of maybe buying a house very soon. So once I get that in order and I get the funds to get back over there to America, get back to Vegas, I'll get over there or New York or wherever and get a big card in. Don't know what we're going to do for the UFC in 2019. Hopefully they go to Ireland or they go to Scotland so yeah. But I do love the live fights. I don't know how many I've been to. I've been to, jeez, I want to say the mid-30s of UFC fights. Been going for years. I think UFC 70 was the first card I ever went to. So a long, long, long time. Yeah. Yeah, California and time difference. I'd love to have. So you guys must get fights. What time would the fight start? So 3 a.m. is when the pay-per-view starts. You guys must get your fights around 8 a.m. That's pretty crazy. I'd love to get fight cards around about that time. McGregor got what he deserved. Yeah, I just think he beat the better guy. He lost to the better guy, so it's what it is. But like I say, I don't agree with what Khabib did. I can see why he did it, though. I think Conor went too far with some of the things that he said. Now, some places you'll get away with that. I don't think the stuff he was saying about the Russian government and some of the guys that are over there, that's sticky shit. And talking about people's families never been a big plus to me. I think you just don't do it. So yeah, but like I say, Conor's the thing that I've been seeing the last 2 days is, Conor McGregor's done. Conor McGregor is far from being done with the UFC. No way will Conor McGregor be done with the UFC anytime soon. There's too much money to be made. There's opportunities for massive fights still. You could put him in there with GSP. Like somebody said earlier on, I forgot who it was, but GSP versus Khabib would be a great fight. I don't think it ever happens though. I think someone like GSP, see what Khabib could do, would just kind of run the other way and not want to fight him. So yeah, 3:30 to 9 a.m. Jeez, that'd be awesome to watch fights at that time. Edgar Ortega. Yeah, that Holloway Ortega fight is one that sticks out. I just want that fight to happen. Interesting to see what happens there. My biggest UFC bet, I think, was Arnold Allen. I think it was Arnold Allen. I think it was Arnold Allen by TKO as well. I put on 2 bets. I can't remember how much it was, but for some reason that sticks out as my biggest bet. I can't remember what the other one was. When I've went big on bets this year, I've not did particularly well. Mark Hunt in Russia. Who else was the other one that sticks out? Gokhan Saki this year. So yeah, that's not turned out great by going big, but like I say, I've did really well with the bets, so let's keep it going. Think Khabib will retire? I don't think he will. The one big thing that's kind of came of this, that if he can't fight in America, UFC have just went into Russia. Now that guy's huge over there. I don't think people realise just how big he is. There was videos that came out at the weekend of them celebrating, and it was crazy. So you could easily put him in a Russian stadium, 20 to 30,000 people, and he's going to sell out easily. So, but who the hell wants to go and fight Khabib in Russia? I know I wouldn't if I had that opportunity. McGregor Pettis. I think McGregor would fold Pettis, honestly. Henry Cejudo, did you bet him against DJ Quincy? Jeez. I think did I bet Holly Holm? Did I bet Holly Holm? I think I actually did. I think I've bet a pretty substantial amount in Holly Holm against Ronda because I thought the line was just really egregious. So Yeah, need to wait and see on that. I can't really remember, but Arnold Allen in his debut in the UFC, he was a heavy, heavy underdog. I put on a lot, and I've been drinking that night. I think I put more on stupidly. So yeah, the one see, I'm talking about a lot of fights and so on. I really hope the UFC don't make TJ against Henry. I really don't want to see that fight. But it's something that could happen without a shadow of a doubt. Um, but yeah, I'm just answering a few questions. I was supposed to recap UFC 229. Um, yeah, but great card overall, but it's going to be marred by one silly incident, which I don't think it really should be. Um, like I say, I don't agree with what Habib did, but I can see why he did it, because you just, some of the things that Conor said and some of the vitriol that came out of his mouth, I just think it's unwarranted, and he shouldn't be saying that. But honestly, I hope that Khabib doesn't get the book thrown on, but I've got a funny feeling that they might make an example here. But yeah, Scott Holtzman. You know what? I'm not the biggest Alan Patrick fan, but I thought his skill set was enough to beat Holtzman. But Holtzman's shown that he's just had a kid recently. He had to be away for like 6 weeks. That's got to be tough when you've got a young family. And it obviously showed, because he was so driven, he was so determined to win that fight. And stopping someone like Alan Patrick is a big, big victory. But yeah, great win. Interesting to see where he goes forward. He was calling for a top 15 guy. I don't think he'll get it. But there is plenty of guys, good guys, you could match him up with in that division. So yeah. What I was going to say, guys, if you're betting on fights, have you did well this year? Have you did bad? Like I say, I came out earlier on here and I said my betting on 2017 was hideous, but I'm making my way back up and re-establishing kind of what I'm doing. I got myself a kind of little game plan of how to bet on fights late last year and pushed it into 2019, 18 and did really, really well with it. So the main example of Paul Daly. Yeah, Paul, that was a little bit shit. Conor, Habib, because UFC, like they use that material and they've got every right to use it because it hypes the fight and it obviously it can make them money. So yeah, I think my camera's playing up a little bit, guys. So I apologise for that. It's pretty windy over here in Scotland. I'm right on the sea here, just outside Edinburgh, and it's pretty windy at the minute. So I don't know what's going on. If maybe the Wi-Fi's triggering a little bit. So whatever. Keep breaking even for the past month. All you got to do to make money is bet against Travis Brown each fight. Interesting to see if Travis Brown will make his comeback soon. And it's the same with Cain Velasquez. When I was watching Embedded last week, or when that Bad Blood, they were talking about Habib, and it's interesting. I'm really interested to see where Cain Velasquez is. So I don't know what you're saying, Lendaz do MMA, but how you doing, man? I hope you're well. Yeah, there's a lot of good. There's been a lot of. I've seen a lot of really good people on Twitter betting some really nice, cashing some really nice bets and doing really well. I think there's a lot of new people that are starting to bet on MMA. I think you have to put in a lot of work to be a really top guy when it comes to betting on MMA, because it's such a, like, the sport is so unpredictable that you have to be really careful with who you're betting and how much you're betting and so on. But yeah, I think the UFC will use the post-fight brawl, probably. If they use the bus incident, they'll use that. So he looked much better. Like I said, I've seen people say that Conor looked flat. I don't believe that. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I just think that Khabib's got that. He's an all-around good fighter. I still think he's to be done, but he's shown that he's got very quick hands when he shows it, and ultimately he's always leaning into getting that clinch, getting that body lock, getting the takedown, and holding guys there, because that's where he is dominant. This is dominance to come. I think, honestly, I still think the guy to beat Khabib is Kevin Lee. And if Kevin Lee, I think I heard Kevin Lee is fighting Al Iaquinta in December. I think so. If he wins that fight, he puts himself right in there again. But I think that Tony is definitely the guy. I think that Tony is the guy that that needs to be fighting Khabib next. But whether we'll see, it's another thing. I think Ross Houston gets the win. Now this is what I've been watching tonight. I watched probably 3 fights of Ross's. I'm going to watch another couple, and I'm going to watch Stefano's in the next probably half hour before I go to my bed. That is a great fight, a great European scrap at Cage Warriors next week. I'm interested to see the betting line there. I'm going to pick Ross Houston. I think he's shown that. I think that Paterno's very dangerous early on. He's got a lot of really good striking. He's got some good submissions, and he's tough early on. But I think someone like Ross Houston can grind him out. It was good to see Ross get a finish in his last fight against Nathan Jones, but we can see that this guy can go hard for 15 minutes, possibly longer. He's maybe has to go longer here. Paterno is super, super dangerous though. So if he can survive early, I think that Ross Houston will get the win, and that's one of the bets I'm looking at for Cage Warriors next week, depending on the line. I've got a funny feeling I might be the underdog in that one, so interested to see. Keep an eye out. I might do a Cage Warriors breakdown next week if I can find some time to get that out to you guys. So you want to see Lee versus Diaz. I just want to see Nate Diaz back because he's a big star now. After those corner fights, there is money to be made for that guy in the fights there. So hopefully he comes back. I actually saw a video today of Nick Diaz talking about the fights at the weekend, and he looks well. But whether I'd see him come back and compete, it's another thing altogether. But yeah. So yeah, it's what time is it? 12:15. Early Tuesday morning. I just thought I'd get a video out because I people have emailed me, and they've been asking about what my thoughts were. I just thought it was best to put a video out. I'm not really getting into it, like I say, too much. It was just a bad, sour way to finish that event, considering the event was fantastic. And the one thing that's pissed me off more than anything is just people talking about the brawl over Khabib's performance, because his performance was absolutely unreal, and showing that he is the real deal. And you have to be exceptional to beat that guy. So interesting to see where we move forward in the division, and once we get all the shenanigans sorted out and so on. But thank you guys for the questions, which I kind of get into a little bit of a kind of breakdown a few upcoming fights and some picks and so on. Maybe, like I say, I keep trying to say I'll do more of these, and but like I say, this is really, I get time, but it's this late at night, and then I've got to be up, and I'll probably be up at 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. with my little one. It's maybe 6:30 if I'm very lucky. But yeah, thank you to everybody. Mage Chaser, you're the man, brother. If you guys have not, if you've got Instagram, actually I need to do this because I'm on Instagram. I'm not that I post anything, but Maze Chaser on there does some really good stuff regarding MMA. So go on Instagram, put in Maze Chaser MMA, and you will find some great pictures that he puts on. He made my banner on my channel here, so the guy kicks ass. Go and follow him on Instagram and check out some of the work that he puts out as well. How many pay-per-view buys do you think it does? I think it'll do 2 million from the weekend there. Nick C, thank you very much. Until next time, guys, I'll be back in a couple of weeks. I might be back next week for a Cage Warriors breakdown if I can find the time. I'll be back in 2 weeks for a UFC New Brunswick. Until then, take care, and I will see you very, very soon. I appreciate all the love and support as always, guys. So all the best.